Commissioner Monday Udo visited the Oshimili South INEC office, where officials are collating results from Saturday polls before onward movement to state office.
Where INEC fails, like Beaver's failure, like lateness arrival and election could not be conducted, then we have an obligation to come back to raise a question and conduct the election, which was mainly what is staffed, and they are taking actions to make sure they mobilize an election ahead. In those units, the election did not hold. All the results for pressure will come to the state of headquarters of INEC for declaration of to look at the results of each of the political parties. At this point, they are going to declare the result of the senatorial election as well as the House of Reps election, according to each of their date. While at the state office, we are only going to mention the scores by each political party and moved on to Abuja. There was a problem of upload of results from polling units. And our mandate, our law says that we must, our manual says that we must interrogate the Beavers and look at the uploaded results to be able to make a confirmation.
Here, some angry voters from Ward 5, Unit 19 of Oshimili South besieged the INEC local government office over non-availability of result sheets.
So after the calculation of everything moves smoothly. Then the coppers, the INEC official sent to us for them to start searching for the result sheet for us to upload our results. For over 2 hours, we have been looking for the result sheet.
Unfortunately, that is very serious and alien to me, because every polling unit is supposed to have a result sheet. Where they don't have, they ask the office to provide a replacement result sheet. And in Warri Southwest, they had that issue. And the dispatch driver that came and took a replacement result sheet to cover the result of the area that didn't have result sheets.
As we await officials from the local government areas with the results of the presidential election, it is clear that Delta State will be one of the last states to complete their collation of results from onward transmission to the National Collation Center. Ikenna Amechi, CBC News, Asaba.
Now let's return to Lagos here for the collation of election results, and our correspondent Abimbola Agbebi is standing by to give us live updates on the results so far. So Bimbo, give us more on what's been happening since the announcement of the results from the collation center.
Yes, Esther, we are still live at the Lagos Collation Center here in Yaba, of course, at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission. And I told you earlier that about 5 out of 20 local government areas has been inspected here to bring in their election results. We were able to take, the state collation officer was able to take about 4. Now, as we speak, they've been able to take 7 local government areas, election results from Lagos Mainland, Lagos Island, Akeke, Ikorodu, Ekpe, Badagry, and Ikeja. Election results in these local government areas have been taken, and as you can see, there is no activity happening around me, and that's because the state electoral officer, Adenike Oladiju, of course, is the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, called for an hour recess. Of course, they are expected to be convened by 10:30. So far, out of the 20 local government areas where election results have been expected, they have successfully taken 7 out of these 20 local government areas. I'd also like to add here, Esther, that I remember I said earlier in my first update that we had issues, cases where some election results were flagged, and that had to do with places where they had issues with overvoting, ballots snatching, and in some cases, of course, a number of places where the Beavers did not work, and they had some places where they had to make replacements. We have all these issues come up again, talking about the recent local government areas that were taken. Also, I'd like to add that we had situations where party agents stood, to contest some election results that were being collated here. I mean, all of these issues came to fore, during the presentation of election results we took earlier. So far we've had 7 local government areas that have been taken, and course, out of 20 local government areas that have been inspected, I said earlier that it's going to be a long night, so we all are here. We have journalists from different media organizations waiting patiently for this exercise to be over, and of course we also have local and international observers here. Party agents as well are here, to monitor this particular exercise. I told you earlier that the state coalition officer at Adenike Oladiji stated or reiterated the importance of this particular exercise. All eyes on Nigeria at this time. I mean, this is a moment where, of course, every Nigerian is waiting to see what will come out of this election, talking about the collation of election results across the country. So we are waiting to see what will happen in the next 30 minutes, an hour. We have 7 local governments areas taken so far. We still have about 13 local government areas to go. I'd also like to add that it's been the process, I would say, has been a bit slow, and we have been having cases where the coalition officer would call for 5 minutes, 10 minutes break, and that is to see if we'll have more local government areas coming to present their results. So we wait to see what will happen, as we go into the night. We are expecting 13 local government areas to bring in their election results, and of course, as events unfold, we'll give you the updates from here at the Lagos Coalition Center in Yaba.
A long night indeed. Many thanks, Bimbo Agbebi, for the updates from the Lagos Coalition Center at Yaba. Well, let's go to Osun State, where the collation of the presidential election results has been concluded, and the exercise which took place at the INEX Media Center in Osogbo was attended by members of Interagency Consultative Committee on Election, local and international observers, party agents, and journalists. TVC News correspondent Rafiu Hamid reports.
The election was generally peaceful on Saturday, except in 2 to 3 local governments where violence were recorded.
Today, our ENO and the coalition officers, they have brought all the various results together. They will make their presentation, we will listen to them. The coalition officer will collate together. And the procedure is, after the collation here, the 2 of us will proceed to the National Coalition Center.
Both the coalition and electoral officers from each of the local governments that make up the state are here at the INEC office in Osogbo to present the results to the state coalition officer, supported by the state president electoral commissioner.
Number of accredited voters.
One after another, the results were presented with breakdown of votes scored by each of the political parties.
Party AAC 0. Party ADC 32. Party ADP 24.
However, there were cancellation of results in some few polling units due to overvoting and disruption of electoral process.
The exercise has been concluded. Both the state coalition officer, Professor Tolulope Oposhola, and the state resident electoral commissioner, Mutiu Agboki, have left for the National Coalition Center in Abuja to present the results to the returning officer, where the winner of the presidential election will be declared.
The state has 9 federal constituencies and 3 senatorial districts. As at the time of filing this report, candidates of the PDP have been declared winners of 7 of the federal constituencies and the 3 senatorial districts. Meanwhile, the Justice Development and Peacemaker Center has commended INEC for improving on the country's electoral process.
Out of all the polling units observed, only 8 polling units had beavers malfunctioning, with 2 resolved. 6 were not resolved as at 3 p.m. JDPMC considers the general election, the 2023 general election in Osun State, to be a commendable improvement on the electoral process in Nigeria. INEC's performance in terms of planning and management of the election at the polling unit level in Osun State is highly commendable.
The JDPMC, however, decried low voter turnout during the poll. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Osogbo.
Well, a day after the presidential and National Assembly elections in Nigeria, business activities have resumed in Abuja. Surulere in Lagos State, and residents commend security operatives for providing a safe environment for the conduct of the polls. Our correspondent Emmanuel Ajayi reports.
This is Akinyele Street here in Surulere, Lagos, where hoodlums came in yesterday to disrupt the electoral process. But what are the residents of this area saying at this time?
I stay around here. So yesterday, the voting commenced about 10 thereabouts, and it was going on smoothly. After about an hour or more, let me say, the hoodlum came, they shoot into the air.
This bad boy, they came, and they are shooting gun, so everybody run away. One of the official, the INEC official fell inside gutter.
Is there peace in the area now?
Of course, there's peace, no more. After they left, they not come back again.
We took a visit to Agel Palace Way, Okota, where security operatives are on ground to forestall any form of violence in the area. Residents commend their effort in ensuring a smooth process.
The election was free and fair. From onset, the military men have hung out the whole of this Agel area with what I see yesterday. In fact, I'm very, very impressed.
Where I did my own, everything was successful there. Because that place is close to military zone at Shata. Okay. Everything went peacefully there.
It was good in my own polling units, but it wasn't the same in others. So I would say I'm kind of lucky to be in a place that is quite kind of peaceful.
Election went well. With the help of the security on ground, it makes the people feel free and safe to come out to vote.
As collation of results begin, Nigerians are eagerly expecting to see new leaders emerge through a credible process. Emmanuel Ajayi, TVC News, Lagos.
You're still on to TVC News. We have more stories coming your way in just a moment. Stay with us.
My guy, my brother, my blood. E no get waiting for sky, we ground nothing carry. We have been through a lot, and we still stand strong. If you remember, together we overcame monsters, battled the darkness, and even survived loss. But we became unbreakable, unstoppable. So guy, shake off the bad vibe. Face the world with your full chest. Because this life, forget, you and me, now we go run out.
When I was younger, I got asked a question by a friend. What is the ultimate dream in life? You see, in my several decades on Earth, I have seen trends come and go, hopes dashed and deserted. But the story of success has taught us that the ultimate dream should be one that inspires you to paddle through the odds to victory. Finally, I had the answer. The ultimate dream is not a destination. It is a journey of pushing through the odds. It is about challenging the norm, to strive for excellence, to always be in motion, to never give up.
There is always more to a story than the scripted line. The part of a story that is not told casts a shadow. It's like the part of an object that is not reached by light. On TVC News, I'm able to explore the many angles there are to a story, talking to stakeholders, asking the difficult questions, and digging for facts. I believe the viewers are able to make a better decision if they're well informed and understand not just the part, but the complete story. TVC News, first with breaking news.
The returning officer for Ogun West senatorial election, Oluseye Onabanjo, has declared the APC senatorial candidate in Ogun West, Solomon Adeola, as the winner of the senatorial seat. He said Mr. Adeola polled 112,887 votes to defeat his closest rival, Ganiu Obani Basiri of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 60,189 votes, while the Labour Party candidate came third with a total vote of 19,244.
I certify that 1. I am the returning officer for the 2023 Ogun West Senatorial District election held on the 25th day of February 2023. 2. That the election was contested. 3. That the candidate received the following votes. 1. Opaleye Alani Michael of ADC, 2979 votes. 2. Isaac Erobere Jewemet, AGP, 905. 3. Adeola Solomon Olamilekan of APC, 112887. 4. Akib Olaniyi Said Bisiolu, APP, 395. 5. Ashade Michael Oluseyi of LP, 19244. That Adeola Solomon Olamilekan of All Progressive Congress satisfy the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected.
And to Rivers State, the Independent National Electoral Commission says a supplementary election will hold in some parts of the state where voting couldn't take place on Saturday. Now, the resident electoral commissioner, Johnson Alalibo, confirmed this ahead of the commencement of the collation at the state INEC headquarters in Port Harcourt. Senior correspondent Uche Okoro reports.
Thousands of people were unable to vote due to violence, absence of INEC staff and the materials, as well as failure of the biometric voter accreditation system in their polling units. All hope is not lost for them, as INEC has assured that fresh polls may be organized for affected areas. For instance, the Commission says election will hold in 7 out of the 17 registration areas of Degema local government area where materials were not deployed, even though no date has been fixed. Good evening. When collation reaches an advanced stage, INEC will take a decision on other affected polling units.
The classical example of what I said about Degema. Degema is a major, they have 17 areas and election took place in only 10 areas. And of course, you know that it's going to, once, if we don't conclude it, it's going to substantially affect the outcome of the election. So that is paramount. But for others, if it will not actually substantially affect the outcome, elections might not take place in those places.
In spite of the challenges, some residents were lucky to cast their votes.
I feel, and I also feel be responsible for exercising my franchise, and I vote what my conscience asked me to vote.
I feel very happy that I have done my own civic responsibility as a Nigerian. It's up to me to cast my votes, to select the leader of my choice that will play a very good impact in the nation's economy. I feel very happy, regardless of, well, I don't know what the results will be, but at least for my own part, I have done my own part, and I feel very happy doing that.
As we await a date for the supplementary polls, collation of presidential election results is underway here at INEC State Headquarters. Uche Okoro, TVC News, Port Harcourt.
And now the presidential candidate of the new Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, says he will abide by the results of the elections conducted across the country on Saturday. And he spoke with the media after casting his vote at his polling unit in Kwankwaso Malamai ward of Madobi local government area of Kano State. He expressed his concerns about the conduct of elections and delays at polling units experienced by voters, while stating that more improvement will be needed to fine-tune the process ahead of the governorship and state assembly elections next month.
Now we have voted and people continue to vote. Today, tomorrow, we will begin to have the results. But even now, let's wait and see. But believing that whatever comes out, so far what I have seen, for me, I have no problem with the figures. And the information I have from outside is on the issue of our logo. You cannot recognize it. But now with the developments in Ekiti, Ocean and Anambra, we are hopeful that this will come to fruition, to have a good election, so that all of us will come together and support whoever wins the election.
And the senatorial candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party in Kano South, Abdurrahman Sumaila, has alleged plots by some political thugs to attack collation centers in the senatorial district. He made the allegation while reacting to an attack by miscreants on a collation center at Takai local government area, which resulted in the death of one person and an injury to election officials.
INEC office of Takai local government was attacked today around 10 in the morning. Some miscreants tried to disrupt the process of collecting the results. They beat some of the election officials. They came with a weapon, arms. They even shoot some of our supporters who came to witness the election declaration. Our complaint is that they will compromise the security to disrupt the process. Then we don't know what they are planning to do. That is the reason we are we want inform international community, local and international observers, you press, national, public, the INEC, and all other relevant stakeholders to take note on our concern. This is what I am saying.
You're still on to TVC News. We'll have more stories in just a moment. Stay with us. Voted as the best TV station of the year. TVC News breaks into the core of every event as they happen, following all nationwide big and impactful stories. What are the news from every perspective, covering every human angle? I am Veronica, bringing you the news you would want to watch. When shippers groan under the weight of ceaseless charges that tend to throw them off balance in the sector, Nigerian Shippers Council promptly comes to their rescue.
We know that we are achieving something.
Today, we now have a regulator
to get justice done without the money for any charges.
It's Sydney, the world's biggest container ship and the first to break the 24,000 TEU mark.
Allah Inland Dry Port is born again. Finally, the eagle has landed.
It is initiatives like this that we want to encourage.
Join us for a smooth sail on your favorite maritime program, The Shipper, brought to you by Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port and economic regulator.
Business lives on the fast track of numbers. Business is a straight wheel where low numbers mean something different. And its currency are speed and time. Finding the open doors of Main Street is not just good business, it's the start of the business. Join us every weekend on Business Week.
Still on to TV.
In Imo, the process is ongoing, except a few areas
or PUs, marred by insecurity and thuggery, spread across 7 local government areas. And the situation in Kebbi State is stable. Voting is going on mainly in Birnin Kebbi.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari and his wife, Aisha, cast their ballots in Daura, where he was seen displaying his ballot paper after voting, clearly in violation of Section 129 of the Electoral Act.
I'm very impressed because seeing how the people turn up. I'm very impressed and very happy.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, alongside his wife, who voted at Ikenne Remo, Ogun State, was impressed with the process. Presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu also voted at Alausa Ikeja in the company of his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, and some supporters. He expressed confidence in the process and urged citizens to exercise their franchise.
Accreditation didn't take me but a minute to be accredited as a valid voter and as the person who is owning the card. The voting exercise itself was smooth.
In Adamawa State, after casting his ballot, the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is asking Nigerians to support INEC for a successful exercise.
I think to the extent that it was meant to stop vote buying, I think it's a worthwhile exercise.
Peter Obi, who is also a contestant for the office of the president, in company of his wife, cast his vote at about 10 a.m. He is hopeful that he will emerge victorious if the poll is conducted in a free, fair and credible atmosphere. Another presidential candidate, Rabi Kwankwaso, cast his vote at the polling unit in the Kwankwaso town of the Madobi local government area of Kano State. Addressing reporters after voting, Mr. Kwankwaso said accreditation and voting didn't start in the polling unit till 11 a.m. Presidential candidate Adewale Adebayo voted at his polling unit in Ondo town. He also commended the process, which he described as smooth. Yusuf Dati voted in Zaria. He commended INEC and the process of voting, which he says it's a better arrangement and a departure from the norm. Another vice presidential candidate, the governor of Delta and vice presidential candidate Ifeanyi Okowa, also voted in his country home. And in faraway Borno State, the vice presidential candidate Kashim Shettima cast his votes in his polling unit in Lamisola ward in Maiduguri, Borno State. Senator Shettima, alongside Governor Babagana Zulum, who arrived early, appealed to the voters to exercise patience.
So good. Yes, we are having hiccups in certain localities, but such hiccups are almost inevitable. We should have the patience and the generosity of spirit to give INEC the benefit of the
Vice President.
Meanwhile, the leader of the G5 and River State Governor Nyesom Wike was unable to vote in his polling unit due to failure of the beavers to accredit him after a long delay. He and his wife were asked to return after the resolving of a technical error. The Bauchi State Office of the ICPC said it arrested one Hassan Ahmed, found in possession of 900 naira cash in new naira notes and 1.1 million naira in old naira notes amidst the cash crunch being witnessed in the country. The suspect was arrested on Friday by troops of the 33 Artillery Brigade Operation Safe Conduct, deployed to Al-Kalari and handed over to the Bauchi State Office of the Anti-Graft Agency. But the Electoral Commission assured Nigerians that it's abreast of these challenges and is successfully addressing them.
Now in other news, an early morning fire engulfed the popular Maiduguri Monday market in Borno State and destroyed property worth billions of naira. Firefighters battled to put out the fire that razed hundreds of shops. Correspondent Jesse Tafida reports.
It's a day after the 2023 general elections. A black Sunday for residents of Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, as the popular Monday market was razed. The fire raged, engulfing shops, destroying goods worth billions of naira. Many shop owners tried to save what they could, not knowing if the fire would spread further than it has already.
I was at my room, I had something like gunshots and bomb blasting like this. So I just wake up at that time around almost 2 o'clock. So I just come near to the Monday market there. I saw fire outbreak in the market. Then before anyone comes, then in the official of the Monday market, they announced they already tell the security and the fire service to come and do something that is going to stop this fire. But the fire service, they are doing their best in order to see they stop the lights.
The state and the federal fire service want to prevent that from happening as they try to put out the fire. Some of the affected traders helped where they could.
We cannot ascertain the cause of the fire. We arrived since after 3 in the morning. Yeah, so far we are able to cut off the spread of the fire. The market is separated into different segments, so we're able to cut it off to contain the fire in a specific location so that it will escalate to other units.
In the meantime, traders who could not sell anything lamented the hopeless situation they have been put in. The fire service is still battling to put out the fire. Governor Babagana Zulu has immediately set up an investigative panel to ascertain the level of damage, find out the cause of the fire. He also donated 1 billion naira emergency relief to victims. Those who lost their means of livelihood are hoping that the intervention will come soon to help them restart their businesses. Jessica Fida, TVC News, Maiduguri.
There's APC and PCC are called appealing for calm from all stakeholders and Nigerians in general as the nation awaits the release of final results of the presidential elections. And in a statement by the advisor, Media and Communications and Public Affairs, Mr. Dele Alake believes strongly in the unity of this country, and any attempts to whip up sentiments along religious or ethnic lines must be rejected by all. Well, he also said reports from his agents on ground across the country point to incidents of technical challenges and man-made issues at some centers, and there was late arrival of voting materials and glitch of beavers, noting that in locations where these were severe, the INEC National Chairman, Professor